In the fight against various threats to Nigeria's peaceful coexistence, the Armed Forces of Nigeria said it has killed over 8,000 terrorists, arrested over 11,000 and rescued 6,376 hostages in the year 2024 alone, while giving the breakdown of the military successes since January to December 2024. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said troops were able to achieve the height due to the adoption of a high-level alert and an increased state of readiness to protect the country from further terrorist aggressions and insecurity, having been confronted by different threats in 5 active theaters of operations across the country, namely Northeast, Northwest, North Central, South-South, and Southeast. Buba noted that the military has kept up the pressure of all its operations in the various theaters across the country, creating conditions in which terrorists can no longer carry out acts of terror or harm citizens. He further said the process has led to the recovery of over 8,000 weapons and 211,459 ammunitions, and they have denied the oil theft of an estimated sum of over 57 billion naira.
Indeed, since January till date, the Northeast Theatre has been characterized by activities of the Boko Haram and the ISWAP terrorists, as well as elements of armed militia. Troops, in the course of their operations, have denied the terrorists the ability to carry out major offensives. And in doing so, the terrorists have been limited to low-level skirmishes and attacks, which are mostly on soft targets. Similarly, in the Northwest Theater, terrorists and violent extremists targeted troops and other security agencies, as well as vulnerable communities in the course of the year. Some of the terrorists encountered in the Northwest are transnational jihadists that have entered into a marriage of convenience with local terrorists to steal the nation's natural resources. In the North Central Theater, troops experience activities of violent extremists that mostly targeted soft targets. These violent extremists were engineered by issues related to farmer-header clashes, land grabbing, and ethnic nationality issues. In the Southeast Theater, that theater was marred by the activities of the indigenous people of Biafra and their Eastern Security Network terror group. While in the South-South Theater, that theater was marred mainly by the activities of crude oil theft. Troops confronted all these threats across the theaters by adopting a high level of alert, as well as an increased state of readiness to protect the country from further terrorist aggression. Accordingly, the terrorists were forced to pay a price for every act of aggression against citizens and for every escalation of the security situation. The stance of troops culminated in over 500 terrorist leaders and commanders wiped off the battlefield so far this year, 2024. Now, since the beginning of the year, troops' operations across the various theaters has culminated in over 8,000 terrorists neutralized and over 11,000 of them arrested, even as we rescued over 6,376 hostages. What this means is that we delivered damage to the terrorist fighting capabilities as well as their military capabilities. And this is partly the reason they go after soft targets, being the cowards that they are. Furthermore, troops recovered over 8,216 weapons in the course of the year and over 211,000 ammunition in the course of operations in the year. This means that we have significantly delivered damage to the terrorist military capabilities, and this partly explains why we have more of them surrendering, with surrendering corridors now activated in the North Central. Since the beginning of the year, troops have denied the oil theft of an estimated sum of about 58 billion naira since January.
He added that the whole armed forces is constantly examining ways to improve the effectiveness of its operations and guarantee the safety of citizens.